do so here. Thank you for joining us this morning for this very brief webinar on the newly announced Business Security Rebate Program by the provincial government. Just wanted to let you know that this has been a very long standing, very hard and amazing win for the business community here in Manitoba. Just to introduce myself, if you don't know me, obviously I'm Sean, the CEO of the Manitoba Restaurant Food Service Association. This has been about a 4-year advocational journey for me. This started in 2021 with the current Justice Minister, Matt Wiebe, as we sat in our office when he was not in office. He was a critic, which means that he was the opposition to the current Justice Minister at that time was the PCs. And we discussed a program like this because we saw the rise of crime and the effects of crime at that point, really property driven in our industry. So we mobilized some resources and started working with our partners. This included Restaurants Canada at that time as well. And we started kind of pooling our resources together to try to move forward with some sort of a support program to be able to assist, especially the restaurant industry, which is still reeling from the pandemic, in costs, both in prevention and/or costs of the effects of crime. So what that 4-year journey has led us to is exactly this, is the Business Security Rebate Program, which has been announced by the provincial government and is currently open for applications. This program was created to provide support both for the prevention of crime and/or the effects of crime on your business. So property crime, damage in your business, and/or if you wanted to increase the security presence in your business and/or pay for things that provide a secure place to provide for your staff and for your patients. So we're going to get started. The program actually, a key component of this program is we made it clear from the get-go is that it had to be simple. We did not want it being convoluted and hard to apply for because the restaurant industry especially is very, very busy. And we do not have a lot of time or the resources to be able to put towards complicated, convoluted programs. So similar to the grant programs that we received during the pandemic to support the restaurant industry, this is a very easy program to apply for, and the application process is quite seamless. So we'll get started. So introduction. So what the program is for is to support small businesses that are affected by crime and help cover the costs of repairs and security upgrades. So key component there, repairs caused by the effects of crime and security updates. And really focus on making sure that it's apparent. If you've been listening to the news this morning, you're going to hear that the provincial government is going to be running a double deficit due to the wildfires this year and some poor performance of Crown corporations in this year. Still really committing this money regardless, just to show that their commitment to security and safety in the business community is important, and that we need to continue to do so and invest in that. So the program overview is it's $10 million is which is funded. To put in comparison to the only other program of its type in Canada, which was implemented in British Columbia 2 years ago, they only committed $2 million. So this is quite a significant fund. When you factor in the application rebates or $2,500 per location, that does relieve a lot of opportunity for small business to apply for this program, although it is on a first come, first served basis. So the rebates are maximum of $2,500 per business location, and that's for all the eligibility criteria, which I will go through in a couple of minutes. But that rebate will be maxed at $2,500. It doesn't obviously mean that you can spend any less than that, because we know that a security system can cost quite a bit more than that. But this does cover $2,500 of the eligible criteria. Eligibility, it is for Manitoba's based business. The provincial government made it very clear, and as did we, is that we wanted this to be something for small business. We wanted something to support those smaller businesses in the time of trying to update their business, because It's a little bit tougher for them to be able to come up with the resources to do so. So 75 or fewer feet full-time east. So that called full-time equivalent, full-time equivalent employees, meaning if you have 30 full-time employees and 40 part-time employees that work half shifts, that would be 50, right? So you classify those half employees as half. So those half-time employees. So it's a maximum of 75 full-time equivalent employees. So you could be cutting close to the average restaurant in a full service capacity, and some of the larger quick service capacity restaurants will see close to that 60 to 80 range. But for the most part, in conversations with Restaurants Canada and Chris about this, it's even covering some of the larger QSRs like McDonald's and so forth. So we felt very confident this would cover a good portion, if not all, of our industry. These expenses covers expenses occurred or after August 23rd, 2024, which is amazing. This is another thing that Chris and I advocated. Chris Barnier is our Restaurants Canada Vice President that we partnership with here at the Restaurant Association. We have had this partnership in place for a couple of years now. So we've been working very, very close and together on this program. He's been instrumental in its implementation. So this is something that Chris very much pushed as well, is that we wanted to make sure it covered expenses going back some time, because we know that the restaurant industry, because of the increases in crime, especially in Manitoba, that restaurants have spent this money already. So we wanted to make sure that it covered the expenses that were gone back. So in this case, almost a year and a half going back. So if you have those receipts, you can submit those back to August 23rd, 2024. And that's in conjunction with the residential version of this grant, which is only $300 per house. So, and it must be related to crime-related damages or security upgrades. So, kicking in a window, smashing glass, anything that would have been property crime related and or security upgrades. And we'll go in a little bit more on the eligibility criteria of what those security upgrades are, but they're very, very long list of applicable application course you could actually do for. So, okay. So covered expenses. So we're talking about repairs, we're talking about broken windows, we're talking about broken doors, graffiti removal, which is something which is very, very important, because that can get expensive and quite regular here. Signage replacement, if they've smashed your signage, and something that we really worked hard on was insurance deductibles. Our industry obviously has some pretty major incidents of crime that's been of late, say the last 12 to 24 months. Some of them 3 and 4 and 5 broken windows. That's each one of those windows are $2,000 to $5,000. So, you're doing your insurance deductible of $2,500 or $3,000 sometimes makes sense. So this is going to cover a good portion of that insurance deductible, if not all of it. When we talk about security upgrades, we're talking about cameras, alarms, motion detectors, in reinforcing doors, in anti-graffiti coatings, which is also really, really cool. That was actually provided by the City of Winnipeg Police in being able to provide a prevention aspect of having places where you have consistent graffiti, being able to do these anti-graffiti coatings, and also things like fencing and lighting. So fencing to protect your business, or lighting, which is we're going to talk a little bit more in a couple minutes about, has been brought to light as one of the most important security updates that you can do to your business. The application process is you apply through the Manitoba government website. And so if you go to the mrfa.mb.ca, right on our homepage is the Manitoba Security Rebate link, which will take you to all of the information you need to know about the grant itself, including the application process and frequently asked questions. And B, it's going to have a list of current Manitoba Restaurant Association vendors that have provided us a list of what they provide. And we continue to reach out, and we'll be adding those very regularly as they come to us. So that way you can kind of use our MRFA members to be able to support you during this application process, but support you in purchasing these products. So you do need to submit proof of expenses and documentation. And it's very easy. It's just an upload of a picture of the receipt. That's essentially what it is. You also need to upload a evidence of it being installed, whether that's through the installation on the receipt itself or pictures of the installed stuff. So new lights, new cameras, if you take pictures of that, you can upload multiple pictures. And I would recommend that you do as many pictures as you can, because we want to make sure that they're not coming back to you, because you will get put to the back of the line if they're asking questions on the actual rebate. So submit the receipt and as much evidence as you can is that these things have been installed. And obviously the retroactive reimbursement is available for all the eligible expenses, not just some of them. So if we look at the information, this is actually right from the application process itself. So we, as the MRFA, cannot apply because we're a nonprofit organization, but it really just asks for two things. You're going to need to have your company office registry number. This is your business number through the company's office, and that would be this number right here. And then you're also going to need your CRA business number, which is a 9-digit number that if you have GST, it'll be that number, that 9-digit number that comes before RT001. So whatever your GST number is. And those essentially, from a standpoint of view of providing documentation on your business, obviously you need to provide your legal name, and you need to provide a type of business, so proprietorship, a partnership, or a corporation. You also will need to upload some sort of documentation on proof, and that can be a tax bill, insurance bill, utility bill. We just used our Rogers bill, and it went through perfectly fine. So again, I would strongly recommend you do your tax bill, because that's usually the one that finds the least amount of questions in the future. Eligible expenses. So what are eligible? Well, it's a large list. If you look at this list that I have printed off here, some of these things are these are things that they're covering. So these are the things that you get to choose when you do the actual applications. So any sort of indoor-outdoor security camera, indoor-outdoor alarm systems, reinforced your metal doors, security bars, glass break sensors, rock glass, protective films for glass, permanent security gates, permanent security fencing, it can't be chain link. Things like accessories for installation, even they're covering the SD cards, nails, screws, brackets, all of that. Physical security audits of the building exterior. So if you have a professional company, which we have listed on that link on our website, the ones that are members of ours, if you want them to come out and take a look at your business to see what you could potentially need, because we're restaurateurs, we're not security experts, don't want to be, get that company to come out, and the partners that we've talked to will be happy to do so, just to make sure that you are being provided the best possible option for your business. Locksmith services, so changing locks, fire damage repairs, temporary boarding. So if you get broken into and your windows get smashed, they'll pay for the temporary boarding and the repair of the glass. So it's quite an extensive list. This list will be listed on our website too. It's in the application process, but we will print that off as well. So just that you know, but essentially there isn't anything that I went through when I audited the program that I felt was missing. The only thing that I would say is that if you're a nonprofit organization, you're currently not eligible for the program. So, and we're working with the government on that as well. So, okay. So entering the expenses, it's actually quite easy. This is actually right off the application itself. You can see that it's just an upload. You just hit the create button, which is right here. Sorry. The create button that's right here, and you just enter it in. You're going to enter what you did, when you actually had the proof of the installation, and the proof of purchase, and those things will be through pictures. You'll need to provide a proof of purchase, a proof of installation. They don't want you going on and buying Amazon cameras and then putting them up yourself, because those are not, you can put them up, but I would strongly suggest you pay someone to put them up that can install them properly, because again, we're not construction people. We want to leave that to the company if possible. If you choose to do that, they will cover you, but you got to make sure you have pictures of the product up that match the product that you purchased. They will be looking at that kind of thing. So as you can see, you'll put how much it's cost, and it could be multiple entries, right? Because of the maximum rate is $2,500, and you can go to $2,500 maximum. If you've spent more enter all of your expenses on here, just in case, just to make sure that all of the expenses that are on there are looked at and covered, because there might be something on there that might not be covered, because it is a long list, but we always try to find one or two things in there that nobody even thought about. And we want to make sure that you enter every single item that you've done. That way, if it's well above it, they'll see that that the eligible expenses are covered and cut you the full amount, and B, that you've actually invested above that in your business as well. So the benefits, obviously, of this program are pretty special, but it's obviously an improved safety for business and communities. So a key component of our advocacy in getting this program is that if you have a 5 square foot blocks of area in a certain area of the city, and you take that 5 square box of business and you add 60 cameras to that box, it's going to be safer. I know there's been some feedback from through the media, especially, saying that this is not going to make any adjustments. We have met with the city when it played the chief of police and the chief of fire paramedic and talked about this. And we've been assured that these things do matter. It makes a huge difference. And this is a great way for us as a community to kind of band together and utilize this program to kind of work together, because it's not necessarily the cameras on your building that protect your business. It's cameras on the other buildings that surround your business. And that's where the need for effective lighting is very important, because lighting is a key component in making sure that the police can utilize those camera either stills or video for proper use. Without proper lighting, it doesn't work, because those cameras, even if they have light on there, cannot give them enough detail to be able to go out and actually investigate this and or correlate them to other business activities or crime that's happening in the area. So very important part of it too. Obviously, it reduces the impact on crime on small businesses, because it's helping you prepare your business and or at least trying to help support you in a time where maybe you can't afford that insurance deductible, or it takes a little bit of a stress off you for repairing that glass. So, and obviously there's financial relief for making your business safer with additional security related items. So a lot of really great benefits in the program. The terms of the application is also on here. So I'm not going to go in one by one on here, but the key components is that you don't want to make obviously you want to make sure that this is legit. You want to make sure that you're remitting things that have been installed. They will be auditing these programs. So making sure that everything go through the application is absolutely, being done in your business, and that you have that necessary proof of purchase and proof of installation, and keep that. So keep those pictures, keep that. I would print this application off page by page if you can. If not, you can print the end result off, the acceptance part of it, and then print off the pictures and make sure that you have the receipts, attach them and store them for at least 12 to 24 months, because this is definitely security money, is taxpayer dollars, and we want to make sure that you are covered if you're ever audited, okay? The key component of this, and it actually wasn't in the presentation here because they didn't put it on the actual website, is that the most important part of this program, and that has been very, very well touted and was a big part of our advocacy, is the multiple unit application. Meaning, if you own multiple business under multiple business numbers, you own 4 restaurants, you own 3 restaurants, you own 3 retail businesses, you can apply for $2,500 per location, not just overall. And this is a big staple that the British Columbia program had. You could only apply for under one business only. Here in this program, you can apply for $1 grand per location. So if you have 6 restaurants or 6 businesses, or if it's 2 restaurants and 1 retail business or 1, wholesale business, you can apply for this grant for all 3 or 4 of these locations. So that's something that they definitely wanted to take advantage of, because there's a lot of multi-unit operators here in this province, especially when you look at someone like the Boston Pizza chain, or you look at some of the people that own the Moxie's chain. That they have multiple locations. They're going to want to apply per location to make sure that all their businesses are safer. And we want to utilize that. That's why the funding has been at the level that it is, because they recognize that multi-unit operation will be a big part of this application process. So I think the conclusion in this is that the Manitoba government does support small business resilience, and that they did prove that. Look, and I'll be blunt. If anyone knows that I'm pretty blunt when it comes to these things, this is something that I worked with the previous government on, and we could not get done. So we have to give credit where credit is due. And we want to thank Manitoba's Justice Minister Matt Wiebe, the Premier, and all of the MLAs who supported this, because this is something that we couldn't get accomplished, and this government came through with us. So we definitely have to give credit where credit is due, and we've done so. And we were able to be present at the announcement last week when they announced the program itself, because we were very proud to be a key component in making sure this came to reality. So. This is also a Manitoba program. This is not just a Winnipeg program. This is for Manitoba. So if you're a Manitoba-based business and you're anywhere in the province of Manitoba, please utilize the program. Please make your business safer for your patrons and staff. It is important because we all live in the same four borders of this province, and we want to make sure we utilize all of that. So, and if you know anybody that is not part of our association, not on this call, not able to get this information, please tell them. Please have them come and visit the website and go on that link to get that information. This has really nothing to do with the fact that we're trying to grow our membership, or, obviously we'd love to do that. But the reality is that we worked very hard to make sure that this program became a reality. We want to make sure that all business can use it, because once we utilize this together as a pocket of small business in this province, we can make our entire community safer, not just our business. And that we have to work together to be able to do that. So they're definitely investing in safer communities, but you have to apply. And if you have to apply, I would apply right away, because $10 million is a very healthy fund. It will get snapped up quite quickly, because the business community is pushing this out, not just us, but all the other business organizations too, pushing this out very fast. So we want to make sure that we get as much applications as possible. And in the words of Matt Wiebe, our Justice Minister, we want to use all of this funding, and is exactly what he said. So let's use it. Let's use it. Let's make our community safer, and let's make sure that we have all the businesses that we can in our communities, like the ones across the street and the one right next door to us, taking advantage of it so we can protect our business. So that is pretty much it. If anybody has any questions, they can open up now. Kim, you can stop the recording if you'd like. So what we'll do is we'll go into the chat, or you can just open up. We don't have like a ton of people on here, so you can definitely come on and say, newly installed, and when does the funding expire? So the funding will never expire. It will just expire when they run out of money. And newly installed, it's effective now, in the future, and back to August 2024. So in that entire pocket of time. So you have a very large application process and timeline. So any other questions at all? It's a very easy to apply for a program. We went through the application process myself. It took me 7 minutes to do it. It was very, very, very seamless. So I hope everybody today is able to get some great information to be able to go and apply for this, because we want you to protect your business. But our team is always here to support you. So if you have any other questions, you can feel free to contact anyone here at the office. We're all pretty up to speed on this program especially. Or you can go to our website, www.mrfa.mb.ca. There is a straight link both to the application process plus businesses and what they offer. So that way you don't have to worry about chasing your, I know that I see Andrew's on here today from Transact. So he's one of our members for when it comes to security. But being able to contact a security company and people that are providing these programs, and they're well aware of it. We've reached out to all of our members that are involved in this to let them know what the program looks like, so that they're not out there trying to figure it out themselves. So they're all quite good experts on what this looks like. So What about the building that has multiple? Yeah, so if you have multiple restaurants in a building, it doesn't make a difference. Now, the key component is that you have to have access to the public, the street, or a parking lot. So you can be inside the building as long as you have access to the street. You have a door to the street, which you have to have, obviously, because the customers are coming in. Then yes. The only hiccup on that one is that if you're on the third or fourth floor, of that building and you're only accessible from the building itself and not the street, you are not eligible. It won't allow you to apply. And that's because you are in a business in a building that should be providing you the security because you're inside that building, right? So you're already essentially far more secure than if you were on a street level or a parking lot level. Now, with that being said, that building owner can apply for this grant to be able to do the camera systems or whatever they want to do for the security. But as long as you have access to the street, a parking lot, and the public, then you're perfectly eligible, regardless of how many, as long as you have separate business numbers, separate GST numbers, which you would have to have. So. I don't know if you can have multiple units under the same business number, but as long as your GST numbers are different, I believe that you'll be perfectly fine in that situation. So, yes, unfortunately, we don't know about the nonprofit, and that's because there is a federal program currently that covers for nonprofits, although it's only for hate crimes. So we are working with the province of Manitoba. We've already been in contact with them. Multiple business organizations have done that because, yeah, there is some pockets of business out there that really does need this, and they are nonprofits. So we're working on their behalf as well. So, and yes, we'll be notified. We'll be sharing any changes to the program through our membership channels. So there's no registration of a security company. We have security companies that are members of our association. So we are, just to keep in fairness of these people that have supported us so we could get this grant in the first place. We've promoted them and put them on our website as well. So unfortunately, in order to do that, you have to be part of the association. But what I would say is that if you're out there utilizing marketing channels like social media, the first person I think that goes on the radio and goes on, say, CGOB or one of the more popular radio stations saying, if you want to apply for the business security grant, please contact us, is a very smart company. So, because there's a lot of businesses out there that are still that do not have full information on this. Unfortunately, this was although it's such a great program, it wasn't shared very extensively through the media, nor was the residential version of this. And that's not anyone's fault but the media. So unfortunately, they didn't share this a lot. That's why we're doing this webinar, and that's why we're going to continue to send out information like, please apply, because it's very important to be able to get this out, but we haven't got it out there. So I think that really comes down to this business community sharing with each other. And if you're a security company, reach out to your clients, reach out to your past clients, reach out to your current clients, and make sure that you contact them because they're going to want to know about this and you're going to be the hero. So. All right, so I'm going to leave that as is. I appreciate everybody joining us today. I appreciate everybody taking an interest in this. It's a great program that we're hoping that will make our community safer. And if you have any questions or concerns or any questions at all about the programs, please feel free to reach out to anyone here at the Restaurant Association. We're very excited to be able to get this out to our businesses to make our business community and our community as a whole safer. So everybody has a great day, have a happy holiday, and try to stay warm. It's a great day today, so get outside and enjoy it while we can. So, and we'll talk to everybody soon, and thanks for joining us today. You take care.